Alrighty. Looks like we are live, so I'm just gonna wait a few minutes to make sure the everybody gets on. We're starting a day late. I just had some stuff go on over the weekend that put me a bit behind, and so I needed an extra day to get everything ready to go. All right, Joy is here. Yay. We'll give it here a couple of more minutes before we get started. So we are working on the my brain is that way today. Photo spread album for the In Suspense project. I have had a couple of people email me in regards to the In Suspense project as to where the videos are. Even though we do the live on YouTube, the YouTube live for the shows, the videos in general, about 90% of them are still only available to view over on my website, not here on YouTube. Only projects that are free projects or bindings or things like that get left here on YouTube. All the others are in the archives, still free to view. However, I just prefer them to be over on my website rather than that way, rather than on publicly available on YouTube. Excuse me. That way, people are going to view them with intention, and that's what they're wanting to go view, rather than just random people who stumble across the videos on my YouTube. And as we all know, I share a lot, and I really just don't want it necessarily so publicly available over on YouTube. So stuff that I film intentionally for YouTube, those are fine. Any projects that have available for free that I know are going to be on YouTube, I'm just a lot more careful about what I talk about during the live shows. But anything that is like this project where people are purchasing the pattern or purchasing a kit and stuff, those are available for free viewing. I don't charge, but they are under the archives tab on my website at lauradenisondesigns.com, or they are also available in the schedule under the date from which we did the show. But those are only within the last few months. We had to switch out our calendar for our schedule, and so all the videos that were on there didn't transfer over, and I'm still working on getting those all put into the archives. Excuse me. So, alrighty, so we've got a few more people here right now, so we can go ahead and get started. As I said, this is going to be our last class on this. Once I have the album fully 100% complete, I will do a video that will stay over on YouTube, but I will do a video of the completed project so that you can see that. Excuse me. I did get a couple more backs of pages completed, and I will show you those today so that you have an idea of just, how I put paper on them and that sort of thing. Real quick, let me tip that down. There you can see it's kind of taped together. Again, I had a rather intense weekend of some family stuff going on, so I wasn't able to work as much as I wanted to. But there is, I don't want to pick it up. That is the conservatory. And I still have a couple of kits still available. Those will be shipping out. You will be receiving them. If as long as my paper order gets here, I will ship them out prior to the class starting. Otherwise, you will have received them before the class is complete. As soon as I get my graphic 45 paper order, those will ship out. So so there's those. I have a whole bunch of kits. I had someone come in and helping me on Sunday, and she got a ton done. So I am starting to get a good churn of more um, of the past due kits that people are waiting for. Not as many as I had thought there was, so I'm pleased about that. So, but I am working on getting out as many as I can as soon as I can. So, people are going to really start seeing. Well, you're not going to see headway because you don't know what all I still have, but people are going to really start seeing some of those older kits that they're waiting for. So, Joy had lemon blondie brownies for breakfast. Hey, you only live once, and once you get past a certain age, who cares? So go for it, Joy. That sounds like something I want to do right now. Alrighty, so I'm tired, so I warn you, my brain might not be running on full cylinders. It's been a challenging time. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and switch cameras, and we will get rolling. Oh, one of the other things that that got delayed too, and I'm working on trying to get that as soon as possible, is the album, the bed album. If you go to my blog and put in bed, I think, not into my album, onto my blog. If you on the search, if you put in bed, I think that's what and it comes up. It was from 2012. It was a blog hop with Graphic 45, Want to Scrap, and I think it was Art Glitter, but on my blog. And the bed is shown there that I'm talking about, where the mattress part, an album fits into the mattress part of the bed. Um, that's just the inspiration that I'm using for this one. The bed is not going to look like that one, and it'll be very different. But the inspiration is making a bed album. It's also not like the Princess and the Pea bed that we've already done. But I'm doing that out of the Dreamland paper from Graphic 45 with an alternate of the Kaleidoscope paper. And I was also yesterday looking at, excuse me, the Graphic 45 Christmas paper. So, because the original project was done for a Christmas project of Visions of Sugar Plums is what it was called. Um, so whether or not I do the Christmas one or not, is still up for debate. So, but those kits, as soon as I have something to show you, I will put those up. Again, the conservatory is running a little bit behind, um, just because of circumstances. So, but I should have it by Friday's show. The Hobbit kits are pretty much packed. Those are shipping. I'm trying to get those shipped out before Friday. Not the Hobbit kits, the borrower kits. So I'm trying to get those out of here before Friday. We will be starting that on Friday. And we'll do that for a couple of classes. So another project ticked off the box. So, and I need to get those papers updated, and that's part of my plan for today. Okay, you went to the blog and typed in bed. Try, what was it under? Because I found it right off the bat. It was in 2012. I do know that. Canopy bed? Oh, see, now that's going to make me crazy. So, let me real quick just look, because I know. And then we'll go ahead and get started. This is just giving people a little bit of time to get here. So, I should always just keep a window with my website open during the shows, because I invariably have to go back and look. But Joy says, yeah, the Princess and the Pea bed comes up. I meant to write down the date for it. Of course, my computer said, you've got too many windows open. I'm going to be slow. So I hope everybody's been having, had a good weekend this weekend. And all that good stuff. We're having lovely weather here. It's not super hot, but very comfy. Let's see. Canopy bed works. I'm trying to remember what I typed in. No, that's not it. What was it? Graphic 45. What did I type in? Well, now that's got me all puzzled because I had no problems finding it. Of course, I can't see the chat right at the moment. So, okay, so if you put in Art Glitter Blog Hop, it does it? I found it easier than that because I didn't remember that it was, I mean, we are talking 7 years ago. Nope, that doesn't come up as Art Glitter Blog Hop. But she did put it in under, she does have a link for it, so. But anyway, it's more the concept of it, so than it is the actual project. So, but it does show it. So anyway, Joy's texting me. Of course. Okay, yeah. So Joy posted the link. So if you want to see the inspiration for the project, it's not what the project is going to look like. It's, you know, in 7 years, I've improved how my design work comes out. So it will be along those lines, though, inspired by that one, where the mattress or the album fits into the mattress portion of it. But I think the Graphic 45 Dreamland paper is the perfect paper for it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have some ideas of how we can make it look like a dream on the top part of the bed. So there may be some little miniature imagery there. So just be aware. It's going to be fun. So those will, as soon as I can get a sample going with that, those kits will go up so I can get that paper pre-ordered. The paper has just gone up for pre-order. I have a feeling it's going to be extremely popular, so I want to make sure that we get that one for this one. So I'm trying to blend in a few new projects as well as projects that are using printed paper. And I know so many of you love the Graphic 45 paper, so that's what we're trying to work on here a little bit. So excuse me. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get rolling on finishing up the photo spread album today. So I'm going to go ahead and switch camera and we will get rolling in a forward direction. So just flip out of the way. Okay. Alrighty. So here is the steampunk version of the album. First page that we did, and then the back of this one, and then it has a pocket on each side and a pocket right here. And I kept this one symmetrical when I was doing it. Again, the two pocket on each side. So then we went to this page where we have a little disc to close it, and this one has it opens up. I'm still got to put the neutral papers in right there. Closes. And actually, you can just slip that in that way. You can do it the way it was intended. I probably should have done the string a little bit longer. I may fix that. But it will, once it's sat and closed for a while, it'll stay closed down. But even with it just sticking up through there, it does hold the page closed. I saved this one. This pages 2 and 4 are different on the back. It just has a pocket, and this flap can either be a pocket or a flap. This is the one we did last class where we cut into this front one. So we have a tag on a string that fits in the pocket to hold these flaps closed. We pull that out and then we have the two bottom hinged flaps. So put that in, it holds it close. This is one of them that I got done. So this is page 3. It's done. It's the same backing as page 1. So 1, 3, 4, and 6 are the same, and 2 and 5 are the same. But what I did on this one is on this side I made a pocket, but on this side, rather than this being a pocket, I made it into a flap. So I've got room for a photo, and then the way I've attached this on is this is a pocket right here. So, and then this is a pocket, and this is a pocket. I used one of the journal cards, backed it with some of the neutral paper, and then glued it on in a U shape to form a small pocket. And then it has that dark lace behind it. Then we did this one also last class, where we have this 4 tags that are bound with a brad. That this is a pocket, and then these tuck inside as well, and it'll help hold anything in the pocket there. This is another one that I've done outside of class. Again, it's like that the first back that's got the flap with the 2 pockets. On this one, I made this side a pocket and this side a flap, and I've got this so that this is to where I can have it be for some tags, can slip, so it's kind of a belly band type of thing. Pocket here and a pocket here. So, whoops. So on the first one, as you saw, I made pockets on each side. The next one, I made a pocket on this side and a flap on this side. This one, I made a flap on this side and a pocket on this side. And the last one, I'll make them both flaps. So this is another one that we did last time, and we just have it tied. I still have to put the neutral on the back. It has a belly band. Now this belly band, Joy pointed out that I did not have a dimension on it, and I will go ahead and put the dimension that I used. And this has got, I used a 3.5-inch piece, wide piece of my parchment, and then I did it fold at 1.5 inches. So you have 1.5 inches and a 2-inch strip. You can make it wider if you want. I wouldn't go probably narrower, but you can make this wider. So the top part's a pocket and it's a belly band. So from a 3.5 by 11 strip, 3.5 by, is it 11? 3.5 by 10.5, 10, 3.5 by 10. And then I scored it 1.5 inches. So it's got a 2-inch and a 1.5-inch section. So then this just ties. And I'll take a look at the cutting guide and add that on there. But again, you can make it whatever size that you want. If you prefer it wider, you can. All right, so that we have one more of these. One of them, there's 2 that are like the back of this. The first one, I'll make it with a pocket. The second one, here, I'll make it with a flap. Our last page we have has an accordion flap on it, a large area. And then on this last one that has this flap, I'm going to make these both be flaps. This is a pocket, but these will both be flaps. And we'll see what we can get to on this. And we're going to start out where we're doing our last page. And then, so we have 1 page, we have 3 backs. We'll see just how fast I can crank today. So let's make that so I don't knock it over. Slide that out a little bit. Okay, so I printed some more of the papers. This was used on the back. This was used on the cover. I did get all of my journal cards printed as well, so we can use those. And I printed out some other ones. So I'm thinking for the inside, It can either be something like this one, or I was thinking this. I think I want this one. This could also be on the outside and maybe more of a background. I'm almost liking that better. So this will be on the inside. This will be right here. And maybe just for Lois, as Lois here, we'll do some blue on this face. So I think this one will be here in this back part. So it looks like I need to cut like 3/4 of an inch off. Yes. Well, it's our last day, Joy, so we kind of had to be. So I worked on some of the backs to get those done for y'all. Yeah, I'm going to cut a little bit more off the bottom because I think I want to add some of that little stripe to the bottom. So I'm going to put that up towards the top. I think I want just a little sliver of that stripe there. So I like, or maybe I'll line it up. I'll line it up under this section. So it's not going to be dead center. It'll be lined up under that. So this piece needs to be. So let's see if I cut it there. If I have the top part, cut it there. It's more of it. Well, I can just cut it in half and then decide which one I want to use. All right, so I can use that, which looks kind of cool. Or I can use that one. I think I like this one. So we'll do that one. So that's going to go right there, and then back behind, I'm going to do the blue. So that will be on the inside. That one right there. This one in there. Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll have some sort of closure on there as well. I think that's going to look cute. Needs just a little something something. Kind of like how that and that kind of tie together. So So then I can just cut like 1/4 of an inch off of this. Okay, so I'm gonna cut one width of this because it just needed something, just a little something. Just a sliver more. There, that'll do it. All right, so we can start inking and getting this put on. So I'm putting this along this cut edge, 1/8 of an inch in. So then this will go. Let's see, I want to cut just a sliver more. Oops, put it upside down. That'll work. It's close. Probably could cut a sliver more off, but I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. It's fine. I will also be working on the fairy version. I just haven't had an opportunity to do that one yet. So if anybody's working on that one and we would love to see what you've done so far. Obviously, you don't have your kits yet, those of you who've ordered kits, but they will be coming very soon. But they do have the papers. I am making great progress, so we're getting there. I think I still have a couple of 1 or 2 of the embellishment packs for this project. I do have, I think there's still one more steampunk kit available. I think the fairy ones are sold out. Excuse me. And as I said, within the next, hopefully 30 to 60 days, as long as no more major massive crisis hit, which isn't outside the realm, you should be getting at least the vast majority of the outstanding stuff will be resolved. I have this, which will fit there perfectly. Kind of like the clock part. Let's do that, and then we can add a little something something there. So little bit more flowers, and take a 1/4 of an inch off of here. Having that up close and next to that edge, and then we can cut another strip of this, I think, just in between the diamonds. So again, put this along that cut edge. This thing. So the line will close there. And we'll open up and have this guy on there. Trim this so that I can use. Wet glue won't eventually dry out. It's just faster for me too than the tape, a little less expensive. For doing flat stuff, I don't really have a problem using the tape. If you recall, I used to use my the big, it was red and then pink, the big roller gun for doing the flat stuff. And I have old projects that have that, use that, and they're still fine. I just go through, you know, it's kind of a subjective thing, and I go through phases of using either tape or glue. As I've always said, glue, tapes, all of that is very personal to your situation. Depends on what your environment is, your climate, you know, that sort of personal preferences, all of that. So it really just boils down to what you like to use, and ATG, that's what it was called. Do they even still have the ATG tape? I haven't seen it in a long time. They probably do. I'm sure they do. I was always just concerned when people were using like ATG tape for things like construction, you know, using that on like construction strips. And I know those have not held. For sure. Guaranteed. Have not held. And I only used the ATG tape when I was matting. So putting things down that were flat. You can never really go wrong with the glue. Some people don't like it because it does warp the paper when it's wet. depending on the weight of your paper, it can warp it a little bit. But if you just smooth it out when it's kind of like half dry, and for the most part, it generally does flatten out. So, but it's sometimes nice in that, like what I'm doing right now, is you can wiggle it around a little bit. You've got about, a 15-20 second window where you can move it around. And then the score tape is a little more expensive as well. So if you're out of it, and so I just it kind of goes with whatever I'm feeling at the time. So I went ahead and put this little piece down that's the same width as this, and put it down first so that it lined up, visually lined up, because centered it would look off. Excuse me, it would look a little bit off. So then I put this large piece down here. So the only piece I have left then is to go right there. And I'll probably do one of the neutrals on the back side of that. So our next up is how we want to close it. And I think I want to do some sort of paper clip. So let me find, I thought I had some paper clips real close by here. Let me look behind me and see what I got. There's got to be a paper clip in here somewhere. Here, paper clip. Look over here. There's got to be one here. I had some out just the other day. There's got to be one around here somewhere. Well, we'll use one of these little roundabout ones. So I have, you can find all sorts of shaped paper clips. So this is just a curly Q. And if it slips onto, if I have it slip onto this, it holds this closed. So it'll keep this closed, and if I have it somehow so it hooks on there, so it keeps that from flopping open. I really wanted a long paper clip. Let me see what I can. Excuse me for, I have to look in up here. What did I do with those? I just had some. I know I did. Doesn't that make you crazy when that happens? Girl, rumble. Where are they? You know, this is what happens when I get organized. I can't find anything. But now I'm hung up on it, so I gotta find one. I literally had some on my desk just the other day. Where do they go? Where? I don't like this round one, so. All right, fine, maybe we'll do something different. Yeah, this would work. We use one of these guys. This would also work in the same way. It's too thick. It's too fat. Where did they go? Now, if I didn't want a paper clip, I'd find 14 of them. You know that, right? Put paper on the back of it. Yeah. Okay. As she brings everything to a grinding halt while she tries to figure out what she did with her damn paper clips. Oh, well, I found some stuff that I was looking for. Well, that's always a good thing, right? You have old stuff that you were looking for and couldn't find? Oh, what's in there? When you're hunting and finding buried treasure. Well, let's have a look. All right, well, we're going to have to come up with something else because I'm not finding the paper clips. Okay, grumble, mumble. Let's see, what else can we do to close this puppy? Be faster, go down. Well, if I just went downstairs. All right, just had to read the chat for a sec. Okay, so what do we have here? I've got this ribbon. I really wanted to do that. Okay, so let me get my brain percolating here for a second. Ooh, what about? Ooh, here's a thought. Here's a thought. Here's an idea. Ooh, I like this. I like this. It's a bobby pin. I really like the bobby pin idea. Ooh, I like the bobby pin. I just need it with a little bit thinner. We still have some of this. That little bit thinner ribbon. Also go from the bottom. And make it kind of like right here. Well, that could work. So if I did it like right there, and this is going through the base of it. This, whoops. So it came from over this way somewhere and popped up onto there. That's keeping it from popping open. I like that. Okay, so if it's going to go right there. Can't find what you want? Use what you got. Oh, Sarah uses them all the time, so we find them all the time. So don't worry, if you're getting this kit, I will include the bobby pin in there. And this one's a gold color because it was for blonde hair. All right, so And I want that to have a little stiffness to it. So I'm going to put some score tape in the middle. And turn these. Yeah, well, no, I won't. I won't put used bobby pins, but we'll get them. We just find them at Target, and they're nice ones. So it doesn't have to be ribbon. This could be a strip of paper, even. So I just want it to be below there. Oops, off camera there. So there. So my little ribbon's going there, and then I'll have a little closure. So we've been doing those little punch guys. Some of our, we'll use some of this. Then I have that little tiny baby one. We'll do a little dot of color. Gold. Yeah. And some blue for Lois. Oh, there's all sorts of fun things that you can do on paper clips now, little flags that hang on them and stuff like that. There's a million and two ideas out there for doing that. The bobby pin's essentially the same sort of thing. Put that in the center. And then I'll just cover over the tail there. Maybe put a little blob of glue underneath where it's going to go. That way my ribbon's about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom. And pop this guy on there. It's even blue ribbon just for you, Lois. So I'm just adding a little detail there just because, you know, I can't help myself. Just a little piece of the Harlequin paper. This album's had a lot of blue in it for you, Lois. cover the back up as well. So then it just goes around both sides of the flap. So it looks like that. Keeps everything from popping open. That's tight. So then when it lifts up, it doesn't flop. This side is flopping. So just another idea of a closure that you can do. So that one looks cute. All right, so let's go. Did we do the back of this one up here? No, let's go ahead and do this back one up here. This is going to be this is a pocket, and we're going to turn this into a pocket. So this one should go relatively quickly. Oh, that's cute, Marcy. I'm glad. I'm glad that's been something that they could do as well. So. All right, so we're going to work on this one here. Let's see if this piece works. That piece works great right there. And the dark here picks up the dark here. That piece will work there. Or it could be the blue. We know which one. There, that kind of works there. We can have the blue. And we can have some of this pink. Oops. Conservatory is falling over. I think I like that combo better. So we've got some blue here still, and then some pink, and then this pattern. And I think, because I think I like how this works with what's going on down here better than that other. So I need to cut off about 1/8 of an inch off of this one. And then height-wise, I need to cut some off of all of them. Should left this up there. It's so funny how schools start in different parts of the country. Like my niece's daughter is already back at school and has been for a couple weeks. That one was already trimmed, so I trimmed more off than I needed to. But that one's going to get covered because it's going to become a pocket anyway, so that works out just fine. So that can then slip inside there like so. And then let's go ahead and cut for my stopper doodles. Let's use a little graphic piece on there. I'm just cutting it so that it made sense. Well, maybe I'll do it here. Cut it there. So it's like 4 wide by 2 high of the little diamond things. It's not really about the width. It's just, that makes more sense on this. Okay, and again, I'm just going to do it down the middle rather than... Oh, but Ansley is in Arizona, so yeah, no, they started first week of August, I think. First or second week of August. But I don't have it confirmed, but I think they do kind of a year-round school because they only got a month off. So, but yeah, no, they're in Phoenix, so yeah, it's definitely, they're sweating in school. This is where gluing is nice because I can just kind of slip it in till I reach the depth of where I want it to go. You just want to make sure no glue inside so that it sticks down. Put that up out of the way. And I'm looking at the clock, realizing and I have it upside down. Again, an argument for glow. Okay. Instead I'm going, the script is upside down, the clock is upside down. Oops. Okay, just like we've done on the others. I'm going to wrap this around, center it where I want it. I like it even better with stuff over on this side, so I'm happy that that worked out, but I'm glad I noticed it before while I could still pull it up. All right. So there, that has a pocket here, a large pocket here, the shorter pocket along there. One of the things too, while we still got a little bit of time that I want to talk through is these pieces and parts of the pages with this binding. We have these sections because this is that, you know, where it's all pinches together here at the center, but you have these pieces here, so both sides of all of those sections. And I want to do those out of a consistent paper. You know, I use a stripe here, but I don't know if I necessarily want to use the stripes. So one of the papers I was thinking of is one of the exterior papers, this blue one, which I'm sure um, uh, Lois will cry if we use that. I'm just kind of looking and seeing if I like that consistently through here. I do. I think that's the one I want to use, is this guy. So I want to put it onto a couple of pages, and then if we still have time, we'll do that last pocket. This is a different, I was going to say, I thought this was part of the same one, but it's not. Do you have any other than this blue one? I'll just have to run another print of it, but this is enough to get us started. So let's start up here at the very front. This will also give it some stability, putting that on there. I'll go with the dark one, dark edge up there at the front end. And I need it for both sides, so I'll cut 2 of them. No crying in class. Well, I haven't lived by that rule over the years, have I? The number of times I've cried has been pretty bad. Now, I'm inclined on these, and I don't have a specific reason why, but I'm inclined on these to put these on with tape. I don't know, maybe it's just to give some little extra weight or something. think mainly because I don't want it necessarily at this point to bend while it dries, because they kind of sometimes bend a little bit. So I think the reason why I'm inclined to use the tape is so that it doesn't have to dry and then dry as a curve. So there, that just gives it a much more finished look. And I know the middle ones are going to be skinnies. So go ahead and cut those too. Yeah, they don't teach cursive in schools, though some schools are starting to teach it again. But yeah, I'm kind of having to teach Sarah. Trevor's grade they learned, but Sarah's grade they did not 2 years later. But yeah, it's like when I had Trevor's girlfriend over here, I had to ask. I said, can she read cursive?" She was homeschooled, so she can. But I said, "Can she read cursive?" Because I didn't know if I could make the notes that I needed to make for her, if I had to print or if I could write in cursive. But yeah, we've raised a generation that can't sign their name. I'm just flabbergasted. I did those half edge. Probably could have gone 5/8 there, but it's fine. But in order to sign their name, they kind of need to learn all of the cursive letters because, you know, if they're teaching it, I'm glad they're teaching them at least how to sign their name, but I don't get it. I'm just waiting for the day when the entire world economy fails because they're teaching kids how math with Common Core. And once those kids reach the level that they're in charge of the world economy, because they're not going to be able to add 2 plus 2 and come up with 4 without going through 10 miles of gyrations to figure it out. And it's like, yeah, well, the economy will fail in the time it takes you just to figure out how to add a column of numbers. I don't fault the teachers necessarily, Nettie. I fault the system that the teachers are being forced to work with. You know, having had both my kids just recently get through school systems, with Trevor being in a special needs program, the kids are basically taught so that they pass the standardized tests. And the standardized tests don't necessarily measure what they have learned, but measures whether or not they're able to take a test. And it just bothers me. Okay, we're not going to get political, Lois. No matter how much or how many are in agreement or disagreement, I just don't want to go. I don't want to go there much as I would love to. We're just not. We're going to stay off of politics at the moment because it is extremely divisive, and I just don't want to go there. So we'll just change the subject. We can go back to talking about food. That always works. That doesn't seem to offend anybody, so we'll talk about food again. Getting the kids off to their first apartments. Always fun, Christine. Patty's eating leftover frozen pizza from last night. Ooh, that sounds nummy numb. You're losing weight, so your doctor put you on potassium. Huh. Well, that's different. That's interesting. I didn't know potassium had an impact on that. Because my husband's lost some weight, and now he's all freaked out that he's such a hypochondriac anyway, but he's all freaked out that because he's losing weight. And I'm going, yeah, well, I'm finding all of it. So see, this just adds that little finishing touch in here. And then I've got some other embellishments and stuff that I'll probably pop on and such. And those are what I'll walk through when I have the album completed. let's do the skinnies. Skinnies. Oh, I didn't preview much because it's taped together and I didn't want to lift it up. I'll have it within the next, I'll have it by Friday. I will have the conservatory ready for you guys to see. I just have had some significant crap, for want of a better word, going on that I have had to deal with. So, what else is new? Story of my life. I'm just ready for the crap to stop. Anytime, you know, whatever, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, I'm strong enough. So, we'll get there though. The Nautilus, I didn't show that one. That one's still coming up a ways down the road. I have not shown that one today. So you didn't miss that, Christine. I just showed the conservatory in the background kind of thing. The Nautilus is coming up. I want to get the conservatory. I know I'm slipping it in ahead of some of the other stuff, like the third steampunk, but it's a summery project, so I wanted to still do it in summer, and the steampunk will work into September. So that's why it's ahead of the steampunk, even though it's a brand new project, inspired by an old project. Oh, the link for the bed. That one's also coming up a little bit later. That one's not immediate, but that paper, I do want to get the paper. And that bed is not exactly what this one looks like. It's just conceptual or it's more the inspiration than what the bed is actually going to look like. But that was one that, and I never did a pattern and or project for that bed. That was for a blog hop when I was on the Graphic 45 design team. And people had asked for that one. So I'm using that as my inspiration. With that Dreamland paper coming out, it was like, oh, now I got to do the bed. But it's also 7 years later, and you know how I do things is a little differently. So it's still going to have the bed or the album that fits inside the bed, kind of the mattress part of it, but it will be the frame of the bed and such will be different, and I have some ideas of how to make it look like there's a dream floating above. So I'm super stoked about this conservatory. I think it's going to look really good. I just I need a solid chunk of time to get it done. And when you have some serious stuff that's going down that you have to handle, it has to take a back seat. So, ooh, you could do. Ooh, it would be fun to do a Halloween one. See, that's the problem is so I could have a dream one, and I could have a nightmare one. I really like that idea. Maybe we use the kaleidoscope for something else, and that could be a fun Halloween. Oh, I'm liking the nightmare, the dream version and the nightmare version. Oh, I really, 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 really like that idea. With Halloween coming up. Joy. Joy, 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 joy. You've just launched. Oh, now I'm really excited about the bed. Yeah, we can do a dream and a nightmare. So rather than doing the kaleidoscope bright version, I think having the Dreamland and then having a nightmare with a Halloween paper. Oh, that I really, really, really. Oh, I can picture it. Totally, totally incomplete. That's what it is. We're going to have a dream, and the bread's going to have a dream version with the dreamland and a nightmare, and I'll have to find a paper for that one. That is going to be cool. Yeah, a dream version and a nightmare version. I totally see the entire thing in my head. It's going to be cool. Totally, totally cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Good job, Joy. And that's why I keep her around. All right, so we have this back. Now this one I'm going to make this a flap. It's got the pocket and the plane here. And then this one behind here, I'm going to make these both flaps. Yeah. I have to look and see what papers that are out there for Halloween, because I think for that project, I'd rather that be printed papers rather than having to take the time, because I have plenty of other papers that I have to design. And yeah. See, now my brain is running, absolutely running, because I can totally see the whole thing in my head. All right, so this paper, which I also printed, I think I'm going to put on the very back, because that makes sense because it's in the very front. So I'll put it in the very back here. So this one can go on the flap of this one, or it can go that way. Okay, so we'll use that one in the back. So let's see what paper. I don't have any others that are big enough, so I'm going to have to print something to do that. So I don't know, maybe we'll just, since I don't have papers for the other one, maybe I'll just get started on this one then. I like that better. But I like see how we putting all of this in there just really gives it a finishing look. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, my brain is just off and running. Completely, totally running on the dream and nightmare. I like that so much better than the bright, because I really wanted to use that bright for something else. So now I'm really stoked. I'm super stoked. Okay, I want to start it like right now. That's terrible. Ugh. My brain is just flying. I also like doing this sort of thing on these pages where it's the same piece. So just cut this down to 2 inches. Oh, I'm dying now. I want to start the bed like right now. I want to just put this away and start right now. So I better be finding a Halloween paper like right off the bat here right now, so that I can also get it ordered when I get the, but I also need it to do the sample. I think I have one in mind that I think will work great. So yeah, because the bright one, that kaleidoscope paper, wasn't, really fitting. And I had thought about the Christmas, and I'm like, oh, no, the Christmas isn't really working in my head. But oh my goodness, I can so totally 100% see the nightmare bed, and that fits so perfectly. Where's my little schedule thing? Where does that fit in the schedule? See, because I have a Halloween project right ahead of the bed project. but maybe this can be both our Halloween and the bed. So that gives me a little bit of breathing room in there. Maybe then that frees us up to be able to do the album that goes in the conservatory, because I didn't really allow time for that. Except we can't move it up because I have to allow, because that paper's not shipping yet. The Dreamland paper isn't shipping just yet. So this may tweak our schedule just a hair, but I really, 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 really like the idea of the nightmare bed. Especially when you see what I'm thinking of for doing the dream and the nightmare and how it fits in. It's like, oh, I just want to start right now. You guys have been here when I've had this happen too before. Prime example of that was how many years ago with Turn the Page, when I got the Turn the Page idea while we're working, and it was like, that was funny that time. I'll probably, because of the paper situation, I'll have to do the nightmare one as a sample and do the, oh, I might have that flap on top. There we go. Yeah. This one I was going to have it underneath, but I think this flap will go on top. So that'll be a little different. But I think the Halloween version will have to be the sample so that I can get it done. So it'll come in, and then the we'll do the Dreamland one in class because that paper isn't shipping yet. Is everybody else like that other than just Joy, Christine, and I? Oh, Patty likes it too. Nobody's talking all of a sudden. They're like going, okay, Laura's gone crazy. So then we'll have some sort of closure to hold this closed. So then this will open, and this one's going to be a flap as well. See, I kind of like this one just being a flap here. And I'm going to put a neutral because I think this would be a good place for some journaling on this side. And this flap will do something so that it's operable. But I don't have more of the paper printed. So let's just do a closure. Figure out our closure. So I still have this ribbon that we can do. Or we can do a string thing. We don't have paper on this side yet, so I can still do something to the inside. What if we did a slit underneath that clock? I did a slip, so it slips underneath there. Because then it's going to get covered over on the inside. So let's do that. Stick a scrap of chipboard underneath there while I cut that. Oh, I've already got I think I have a really solid idea for a Halloween paper already. It's just got to check on the availability of it. And all the Halloween goodies are out, so I can start gathering all the creepy stuff. Come on, stuff in there. Pop out. All right, so that's just going to pop out of that. So on the inside, I can put a little, and then this will get covered over by the pattern paper on the inside. Yeah, because I was just, I had been looking for something and had gotten some of my older Halloween stuff I had to move it out of the way, and I had the old carriage, and I go, oh, maybe we should do the carriage. I don't know. But I'm also thinking, well, maybe we do 2 Halloween projects too, because the primary one of this is the Dreamland one. So I don't know. Since I have another Halloween project in my schedule, so we could do 2, I guess, if people are interested. Because, yeah, I think we could, because the other one I was thinking was more of a building. So this comes on top. I don't necessarily want it to just tie. I wanted that. I like the idea of that hole again. Kind of coming back to what we did up front here. Maybe I punch a hole. So I just punched a hole. Better like it, eh? I gotta cut the ribbon. It's way too long. And just ties like that. Okay. I'm kind of gonna flip it so it flips the other way, but I gotta kind of fray check my edge here. Actually, I'm gonna cut it straight across and do something different, because it's just unraveling while I'm trying to fray check it. So do that and take a little bit of this and a little bit. Should have done this with my cutter, but we're just making a little piece, about 3/4 of an inch by the width of your ribbon. Fold it in half. Kind of like the metal tab thing at the end of a belt. Yeah, the Monster High stuff, that was fun stuff. All right, so And then looping our way around from that, I'm going to loop it around from the top, underneath, and through. That way it just kind of goes up or something like that. So it ties in kind of with what we did up at the front as well by having it being that large hole. So, and that holds that all closed. So that works perfect. So the only thing still left to do is I need to do the inside of this one, do this one here, and this one we made it a pocket on the page 2, so here on page 5 it's going to be a flap. I'll probably do something with the journal cards again. So then we've got this guy, this, and this one I can make a closure. They don't seem to be flopping that much, so this one doesn't need a closure. Potentially I can do some sort of closure with this one, and I'll fiddle with that and show it during the final. That one doesn't need the closure. Then we have this page, and again this one, I don't know why it just seems to not need to be closed, but if I decide I'll put a closure on it, I'll do that, and I'll show those to you. And then our front page, and that then, other than those 2 backs, and maybe a few more extra embellishments, that gives us our album, our in a photo spread album using the in a pinch binding. And I'm really pleased with how this binding works. I really do like this in a pinch binding. And so anyway, there's that. Do that, cutting my head off. Oops, that way. There we go. So anyway, all right. So this In Suspense 2 has been a really fun project. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And as I said, I'll finish up these 2 pages, put a few more embellishments on there that I'm including in the kit, and then I will do a video of the final album. Yes, lots of blue in it for Lois. And I'm looking forward to working on the fairy version as well. And I'll be able to do that since I'm not having to design paper for the conservatory or greenhouse. And but I do need to work on the papers for the mermaid and steampunk Nautilus, because that comes up. That's coming up after the greenhouse. We do the 3rd steampunk, and then I have it scheduled a Halloween project, and then I have the bed starting in early mid-October. So depending on if we need a little extra space in there, we may throw, if I decide to just do just the nightmare bed for Halloween, then I can give some time to the greenhouse album. And that would give me some breathing room on the papers for the steampunk. So then we'd go from the steampunk to the bed. And then after the bed, we'd go right into Christmas, because I want to start Christmas in November. So, so I'll be doing Christmas projects in there. So on Friday, we will be working on the borrower house. Those kits are packed. I am shipping those out. They should be going out tomorrow. So if you have one of the borrower houses coming, you will be getting it before we complete that. So, and I think I have to look, and because I'll have to put them up. It's not live right now, but I think I have 2 extra. I'll have 2 extra borrower house kits. So if people want that, I'll get that. I'll check that out today while I'm doing postage and all that. If I can get them out today, I'll get them out today, but I do know they for sure they can go out tomorrow. And if you have some outstanding kits that I could slip in with that, other kits that for people who are receiving that, and I know pretty much everybody getting one of the borrower houses at least 3/4 of you have some other outstanding kits. So I'll try to slip one of those others in with it. So, well, have a good flight, Christine, off to Boulder, and getting him all settled in. I know that drill. At least you're not having to drive a car across the country. Sarah and I, we were in about, probably by this time we were in upstate New York, I think, or we might have been arriving in Boston, because she was saying, "Oh, last year we were stuck in Medicine Hat today. Oh, last year we were leaving Winnipeg today." So, yeah, one more checked off the list. So we've now got 2 of the steampunks. Got the 3rd one coming up. I'm trying to ship the steampunks together, so I appreciate everybody being a little extra patient on the 2nd one. And you will have the Nautilus one. You should have the Nautilus one before we start that project. So we're trying to get back on track to where you receive the kit before we do the project. It's been a long, hard journey to get there, but we're trying to get there. So. And I still have some written stuff that I have to go back and do. I still have to go do. We still have the last mystery book club to do. We still have I still have the pattern for the one to finish up. There's still some other, random stuff that needs to be finished up and random kits and stuff, but we're getting there. So I just appreciate everybody being so incredibly patient through this past 3 years. Has been a very large challenge, and the challenge is continuing. So, but we'll get there. So, alrighty, guys, everybody have an amazing rest of your week, and we'll be back here on Friday. So just 2 days. So I'll try to get at least a little bit of sleep in there, but I'm not so sure. So, alrighty, guys. So everybody have an amazing, amazing rest of your day today, and we will see you then on Friday at 5. So peace out. Love you guys all bunches. Bye for now.